How's it going, Chiefs Kingdom? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs beat writer on SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. You guys know the deal. Thank you guys so much for stopping in. Today, we will be discussing the three candidates, just three. There's a slew, but let's stick to three this time. And if you like this, we can do more. Three candidates that the Chiefs have on their 2025 roster that could be extension candidates. Extension candidates meaning that they have to have a good year. It has to make sense that for the Chiefs to bring them back. And those are like the criteria that we're working with. For reference, we're not going to touch on Trey Smith. The word around, or at least it has been through for a little bit long into the off season, is that Brett Veach wants to get an extension done with Trey Smith. It is yet to happen, but just for a tidbit, I did a story on the market value that Trey Smith is currently listed at, according to spotrac.com. If you want to go check that out, you can always just go and see Kansas City Chiefs on SI, go to my profile and find it. But it is significant to where they would have to pay him a pretty penny if they wanted to keep him around. While that's been discussed before, that's the reason why we're not going to talk about Smith in this podcast episode. Today, we're going to talk about three guys that have the potential and who makes sense to extend. Let's get started. If I do leave out some of your favorite players, I do apologize. Like I said, you can drop below in the comments and let me know, and then maybe I could do a part two of this. I think that would be kind of cool. The first one, an underrated player, to say the least, Leo Chenal. Leo has been a consistent piece in the Kansas City defense that I feel no one really gives his flowers, right? So in his 3 seasons, he's played a snap in each of the 3 seasons. He's participated in 17 games. He is a tremendous defender in his career. He has 17 games played each season, comes to 160 total combined tackles, 99 solo tackles. That's going to be cool to see the first tackle of the year if it goes to Chenal, that he will touch a century with that in 4 years. He also has 16 stuffs in his career, which is an undervalued metric or statistic because that's a whole lot of pressure that he provides in 3 years. He's going to give you a lot he's going to give you a chance to win, especially on defense. And his base salary this season is listed at $3.4 million, which is not that bad, right? We've seen the money that got extended to Nick Bolton, knowing that they are slim picking with money currently. I don't see an extension getting done until the following season if there was to be one. But I think that he's a proper defender that you want to keep on your roster, right? He had an 83.6 PFF grade last season, which puts him well above average. He was tremendous against the run, the pass. He did everything. He ranked just missing out of the top 10, the 11th ranked linebacker out of the 189 that qualified. And if those statistics don't kind of tell you enough through the 3 seasons, him being an underrated player might work in the Chiefs' favor if they're looking to save some money. I can't tell you, or do I know, of how the market value would be sitting for Chenal, but I do think that if another season where he's able to collect 60 plus solo tackles, be an asset on the defense, play in multiple games, his market value in itself right there is already through the roof, that I think that Chenal should get a chance to stay in Kansas City a little bit longer. We've heard that George Karlaftis would like to stay. Nick Bolton signed an extension. Steve Spagnuolo, he has a gifted mind on defense that it just makes sense to keep a guy who is that productive in this system as long as he can. Moving on to number 2, and this is purely a blaring in the area of where I told you in the beginning that this person has to prove it in order to get a contract, and that's Isaiah Pacheco. So we've talked on Isaiah Pacheco before. He has a lot of pressure coming on him this season, right? He's in the final year of his rookie deal. They just brought in another running back in Brashard Smith. They brought back Kareem Hunt. They brought in Elijah Mitchell. You have Carson Steele on that roster for the running back room as well. It's jam packed. And if you want to make a statement, it's going to have to be in this season. Pacheco in his career has over 2,000 rushing yards with 2,075. He's shown the ability that he can be a reliable asset for the Kansas City Chiefs, coming as a late round pick. He once in 2023 had 935 rushing yards. That is crucial from how we've seen the running back utilization in Kansas City get used over the years. He's still 26 years old. We start to see a decline in running backs further closer to the 30s, maybe past the 30, depending on how well these or gifted they are. Pacheco's got some good speed. I wouldn't say there's claims like, oh, he's washed. He's not washed. He had a bad season and he was injury ridden. With a base salary of 1.1 million going into this season, that is a great layout for what they could do if they wanted to give him an extension. There's, like I said, there's not a whole lot of money that they can work with currently that I do see him as well getting if he proves himself this season, I can see a world where they want to bring him back. Because if the state of the running back room after this season, Pacheco is in a contract season. Sorry, contract season. Kareem Hunt is in a contract season. Elijah Mitchell was brought in for a contract season. Then that leaves you with not a whole lot to deal with. This is a crucial year for Pacheco that if he wants to be known as the Chiefs' main running back, it's got to come in this season. I'm rooting for him. He's gotten a lot of praise through the system. People are excited to have him back. He just graduated, got his degree from Rutgers. It is a good time right now to be Isaiah Pacheco. And I just hope that he's able to carry that success that he's having in the offseason to the season. Because I think Chiefs Kingdom, they really want to see this guy succeed. And the final guy that is on my list is Bryan Cook. I think that Bryan Cook, he's going to have a largely advanced role this season. Now that Justin Reid is gone, he's going to share the safety positions with Jaden Hicks, who's also a premier athlete. Last season, he's coming off a career year where he played in his first 17 games and collected 78 total tackles. His role, like I said, is likely to be increased, knowing that he can be active in and play productivity in a full season. That's going to increase the likelihood that he gets a contract extension. He was slightly above average last year in terms of the PFF grade. And seeing how developed this defense is, I think that they have they've got some room that if they were going to lose somebody, it wouldn't be a guy who is producing averagely on the defensive scheme. But that's also to say, there's a lot of guys who are up and comers who are going to be looking to fill their spot and make their names known in the National Football League. But for Bryan Cook, this season, I think that it's another one of those years. It's a prove it deal, right? He has a $1.5 million base salary going into this new season. There's some flexibility there. You're going to be able to, all three of these guys, all three of them are purely decided if they get extended based on this season and their production. Maybe Leo Chenal, he could get an extension regardless, even if he does have a down year because he's been so consistent. But seeing that Pacheco started off well and then he decreased, Bryan Cook didn't start off real hot and then he got better this past season. I think that those are three qualified players who could be in the hunt for an extension. But like I said, there's no intel. This is all just my opinion. I would love to know what you guys know. You can sound off on this podcast when you follow me and Kansas City Chiefs on X. You can follow me at Dom Minchella, spelled DOMMINCHELLA. I post and repost every single day. Like I said, you can follow us on Twitter at KC Chiefs on SI, where we have a bunch of stories covering the 2025 NFL offseason. And I'm excited to keep on continuing this. Let me know what you think about the podcast down in the comments below, or you could also shoot me or talk to me on Twitter. I would love to interact with Chiefs Kingdom as we keep on getting closer and closer to the 2025 NFL campaign. You guys know the deal, Chiefs Kingdom. Thank you for watching. Be kind to one another. Be kind. And I'll see you guys soon. See ya.